Welcome to the GF channel. Today we talk about fog lights. In the Mazda 626, the standard place for fog lights is here. This controls the front and the back fog lights, which I find rather unuseful because you're driving on the road, it's fog there, and all of a sudden you need to turn your fog lights. Now you have to divert your attention from the road to find the buttons and press them, which I find rather not good. So what I figured, I could use a combination lever for the light switch I believe that's how it's called in the EPC. Come on, focus. Yes, lever light combination switch. I decided I can get one from Mazda 6 because it has the fog lights on the switch itself, while this is the original one from 626 that doesn't. Apparently it's bolt-on switch, it's bolt-on replacement, it's exactly the same, and there's one catch though. The Mazda 6 has multiple switches as the 626 has. It actually has two, but we'll get to that in a minute. The difference is big though. This is a switch which I got at the beginning from Mazda 6. That's from pre-facelift version. This has a certain electrical difference. So when you switch to the front fog lights, and then you go, I have to turn this, and then you go to these. This is the back one. It's actually staying there. See, the lever stays there, which is different from the electrical work of these. As you can see, this one, the top one, which is for the front ones, it stays clicked. The door maybe. So this stays clicked, while this one for the rear never stays clicked. It's a click 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 in order to activate and deactivate. Now this means for this lever, this will work properly. The first function will work properly. You click it, it stays on, and your fog lights in the front are on. When you go like this, it's gonna turn on the back ones, but when you return back, it's not gonna stop it. You have to again do this in order for them to stop, which you do not like. At the beginning I bought it and I decided to make some electronics to emulate this, but while working on the project I understood that from the facelift version there's actually this difference is exactly the same, so they kind of moved backwards to 626 way. You go here, the front turns on, and then when you hit the back, the switch turns itself back to the place of only for the front. So you click and then it returns, and that's exactly the behavior you want to emulate the two buttons. Meaning you have now only to pull some wires to make this mode work, nothing more, just two wires. And as a bonus you get an auto for the lights. What it does is when it's an auto you get a signal only one of those pins, and the rest, meaning those two are not active, and you can do whatever you want. That's a project I'm gonna do later on, not now. For today we're just switching this in place. In order for you to actually disassemble the whole thing, you need to remove the covers. These are the covers. They're pretty easy to remove. The top ones, there are no bolts to it. Just squeeze hard on both sides and it's gonna pop. And the bottom ones actually has three screws and the lever. Don't forget this lever because it's gonna hold it also. After that it goes down, and on the side here on the side. Let me figure out how to do it with one hand. This is just as easy as this. Up there are two screws, one here and one here, and you remove this, and of course remove the cable. Now, as far as the electrical part, when I did it, I was expecting that I'll be missing some wires, some wiring won't be here. Well, it turns out it's not exactly like that. I actually bought the first from the non-facelift version, this one from Mazda 6. I bought it with the cable, so I can get the two wires I'm gonna wire. It turns out the car has those wires. So if you look closer, I actually unplugged them from here. If you remove this, it's not removable, but with a screwdriver you can actually get this a bit up, and then you stick something tiny like a needle in here and pull the cable, so you remove the pin. That's what I did with the existing wiring. I removed those two cables. You might be wondering, why do you have them? That was exactly what I was wondering. I thought, maybe it's something that they started working prior the Mazda 6 release, and it's actually some kind of development mode. I don't know. At the beginning I just plugged in the new switch and tried it. It didn't work, of course, and then I started digging. What I did dig is there are two types of switches being mounted on the 626. One is with headlight cleaner and the other one is without headlight cleaner. And if you search for the part number, you're gonna find exactly how it looks. So you see, in the place where we are currently speaking about fog lights, there is actually the same circly thing that controls the headlight cleaner. On the Mazda 6, that's actually a button. If you do have a 626, I would suggest you actually maybe move here the fog lights and use a button exactly as on Mazda 6, because it's much more convenient to have the fog lights on your light combination switch. That's it. I just unplugged those and plugged the ones that I got with a little bit of cable. You need just a little bit so it hits here, and you have to remove this side panel. I already removed it, and you with two hands squeeze on the top and on the bottom of the button and push it. Now you have two ways to approach this. Either make the button work in parallel with the combination switch, which will make you both will work. You click this or the switch and it works, or you cut the wires and hardwire it, rendering this button useless, which is not quite true, because then you can use for other projects. As you can see, I already started one project with the cables here. This button will be used for other stuff. This is the connector of the button. I have cut the wires, and the wires here are exactly the wires that you need to cut. The two wires that are from, so there is a group of two and a group of three. You need the group of three to cut the last two wires. The middle one is ground, which I already started doing a project with it, so don't mind it. These two you need to cut. This you can leave, you don't care. Only these two. And then for here, for this one, looking at the connector like that, you can figure out it's those two, the long ones. The original colors are hard to see. One is pure black, I believe. I cannot see them. One is pure black, the other one seems like green with some red or brown, I don't know, on it. Anyway, these are not gonna be used. This is what you need. You can either cut the original ones if you don't care about headlight switching, headlight cleaner, or you could just buy a switch with the cabling and use the cables from it. So the way you need to connect them, you can always use multimeter, or if you don't have one, just tight a bit the wires and test it yourself. If you have them in reverse, just swipe the cables, you're not gonna do anything bad. But the outer one, so this is the outer cable, the blue one in this case, the blue one I used, is connected here to my cable, to my red cable. I don't have multicolored cable, so I use the standard black red cable. So the red cable, here it comes to the yellow with red. So this cable, yellow with red, which is the it's actually pretty good to remember. Connector goes with the thingy to release it from the bottom. If you look at those connectors the same way, again, this is from the bottom and this is from the bottom. The far right goes with the right one, and again the one next to it goes with the one next to it. So it's really easy to remember. Just connect those cables and your headlight should be working. The reason is this is ground, and when you click the button you actually connect the ground to two wires. Same goes here. The whole combination switch works with grounds. You have one ground, and when you turn it, press it or whatever, you pass this ground to different connections. Since everything works with ground, you just need to pass two wires for the two positions of the circular thingy. And maybe I need to connect it to show it to you how it works in the end. This is the proper one. So, man, working with one hand, it's not working. Okay, place it here. So now, close the door. So now, if I turn, this is the front one and this is the back one. Much more convenient. Yes, this is also interesting. If you turn it on and then you go to off, everything goes off. Exactly as it works if you use the button here, but it's on the switch. A more convenient way. Well, I believe that's it. I hope you like this little modification. Makes your life easier. Stay tuned. I have a little bit more things to show you. Bye.